brain lies to us. Our brain lies.
It's like, okay, we gotta shake this mood so hard right now.
You can't just do it all, as much as I'd like to think that I can. You can't just do it all.
Why are you doing it in the first place? Why are you doing this thing? What is your actual want?
That, you're like, yes, I can, you little shit. Get out of my brain.
You're listening to the Apology Void podcast.
I'm really excited for today's topic, actually. It was a bit of a spur of the moment thing for us, but
it was.
We are talking about quitting before payday. In a summary, not a literal payday.
It could be a literal payday.
Could be, but not necessarily.
It's like the payout of a goal or something you're trying to make progress toward. And, you know, behind the scenes, there's a lot of tedium that goes into a lot of projects or tasks or goals or whatever. And it can be really difficult to stay in it and to stay with the process rather than giving up again before payday.
Mm-hmm. A lot of the tasks that we've spoken about this before when we set goals and set tasks for ourselves, it just feels like it's never ending. Just feel like you're slogging it out day in, day out, and that feeling of defeat comes in and you think, I'm never going to get there. I'm never going to achieve. And that's the point where a lot of people do stop.
Yeah.
They quit, which is understandable, right?
Yes.
I've done it.
Absolutely.
I've done it. I will say. But it's those times where we push through and we continue that tedium that you were talking about. The payday will come.
Yeah.
Figuratively or literally. The payday will come.
Yeah. I've been working on a really, really big, I guess you could call it a project. I've been working on a big project behind the scenes that has been really tedious and had so many different parts and pieces and legalese and just so much happening that I legit have thought about just saying, nope, I'm out. I'm done. I quit. Somebody else take this. I can't. There have been at least 3 times I think I have been like in tears crying, just done. So frustrated, so over it, because there's been so many different things. It really felt like it was never going to end. Truly. Today, there is some light at the end of the tunnel. There's been enough that's been accomplished that I can actually like see the finish line. And I'm like, oh, this is like the little bit at the end. This is so exciting.
It's coming.
Yeah. But even yesterday, I was with my mom and she was like, you just don't seem like your happy self. And I looked at her and was like, well, Sue, well, let me tell you, I'm just a little stressed. There's a few things happening that are just on my mind, on my brain. She's like, yeah, I get that. I understand that. So I feel like it's so easy. It would have been so easy to quit. But now that we're closing in on it, and even today, having a few more things accomplished really lets me see the finish line and be grateful that I haven't stepped away and said, we're done. So
let's talk about some of those those curveballs that come, right? And what that can look like, I guess.
Yeah.
So, sometimes it's the frustration, so the mental blocks. It's the frustration, it's the fed upness, whatever that word is. Like we can get angry, we can get tired. It's very emotional. Those are our mental roadblocks. Often they are the biggest ones. I'll just preface by saying that. But sometimes there are blocks. So, when you're talking about legally things, that's a massive block sometimes. People are actually putting literal blocks in your way to say, no, you may not.
Yes.
And it's about going, okay, how can I overcome this? And working a way around it. So let's talk about some of those. I think we should start with the mental blocks because that's the biggest one, right? The frustration.
Mm-hmm.
Our brain lies to us. Our brain lies. I will just
Correct.
say that. Yeah, we've spoken about this book before, Chimp Paradox. Our chimp brain comes in. You can't do this. It's not working. You're crap. You don't know what you're doing. All of those negative voices come in, and that's our biggest, that'll take us out
Yeah.
instantly.
Yeah.
So how
For me,
we overcome those?
it's a lot of the anxious brain that comes in, and it's the immediate, like, again, primal response that is that fight or flight takes over when you get anxious. And maybe there's even just a small roadblock, maybe a technical glitch that comes up, and a piece of paperwork you filled out once already gets lost somewhere. And so you have to fill it out a second time, and you're just like, all right, we're finished with this. I can't anymore. Yeah, that like throw all the papers in the air.
Yep.
It's just done. But that's something that I've really had to overcome, is my anxious brain really taking over whenever anything becomes a roadblock. I make it more of a roadblock than it really is. And when I'm able to just sit with it and go, oh, okay, so this really isn't that big of a deal. You're just like making it out to be this massive thing. Then it's really helpful. But you have to take that moment to stop, to slow down and really analyze things and say out loud usually what's happening. Because when we leave things in our brain, we often inflate them and make them bigger and bigger and bigger. And so what I've been doing is either talking out loud to people that I know and love and trust, and just talking through my issues, texting people that I know or love or trust, or writing them in a journal. Like if I'm struggling with a mental block, I will literally brain dump in a journal as much as I can to just get it out of my head. Because when it's out of your brain, it lives somewhere else then. It can go exist in a different space, which is so very helpful. So how about you? Have you dealt with these like mental blocks?
Oh, every day. And I think it's just sometimes it's so small though. And it's those small ones that build up and build up and build up. I will say though, I have done historically a lot of work on like negative self-talk and all that. And it hasn't been like the anxiety brain, we spoke about this before, is not a massive thing for me personally. It is for a lot of people, but it isn't for me personally. The overwhelm, yes. I tend to take on too much. Like I put too much on my plate. And then I'm like, oh my God, what have I done?
can't breathe.
And then the overwhelm just comes, and then I get a bit paralyzed by tasks because there's too many things. But bringing it back to last week, we spoke about those not getting distracted and the timer methods, and I've been using that all week, and it's working wonders, I will say, because there is a lot on my plate right now. So we're loving that.
Snaps for you, yes.
But the talking to people and the journaling is great as well. Another thing that can work is just allow yourself to have like a 5-minute pity party. I love 5-minute pity parties. So it's like things are going wrong. You're feeling the frustration. You're throwing the papers up. Step away, crack it for 5 minutes. Allow yourself to feel all the things. I'm quitting. I'm done with this. I've had enough. Come back to it. Set a timer, by the way. Don't let it go on more than 5 minutes. Set a timer. Come back, and the perspective will be there.
Yeah.
We act irrationally when in that heightened state. And if we make decisions in those moments, it won't be the right decision. I can almost guarantee that. Like I can almost guarantee.
If I get a frustrating email, text, anything, my go-to is to put on my shoes and walk around my block at a good pace, to walk the loop that is my block, because it's not actually like a standard block. It's more like a loop. Anyway, it does not matter. But to walk that is about 10 minutes. And I take that time and I try to put my phone in my pocket or leave it at home and just take deep, intentional breaths and release it. I do basically a walking meditation. I allow myself to be frustrated and angry and whatever, sad, mad, all the emotions. And I just walk until it's dissipated. My heart rate has come down and we've come to a more neutral location. So that's been really helpful recently.
Taking the time to respond. Yeah, thinking about the response, not acting in emotion, because it's not going to get you a desired result.
Correct. Another thing recently is I've been feeling exhausted just by all of the ongoing stress that I've been feeling and all of the tedium that I've had to go through and all of the little things. I've just felt physically and emotionally exhausted. And I know so much of that is just a mindset. It's a mindset right now. And so this morning I realized it's like, okay, we gotta shake this mood so hard right now. I don't want to do anything. I am tired. I just want to go to bed, because that's how I was feeling. I felt exhausted from everything that's been happening recently. And so what I did is I actually put on the song Pump Up the Jam, Pump It Up, from Jock Jams, I think is what it's from originally. But
I have no idea, but I do like that song.
It's solid 90s throwback. We had a great time.
Solid.
I put it on, and it was my 5-minute get ready timer this morning, where I just like danced and put on my makeup before a meeting and was like, we're gonna put ourselves in a happy mood. So really, it was just about changing my mindset, literally flipping it and being like, okay, you've done all these things. Yes. This is literally your brain just trying to be mean to you. So we're going to choose to put on our happy dancing shoes and pump up the jams for today and get in a mood. Yeah, and shake it off.
Music is a great one, actually. Music is great
amazing
to do that.
Yeah.
You've got some great strategies. Music, walking, like got this clear mind.
Journaling.
You've probably got to, because you got, as you said, you got a lot happening. So you need to have strategies.
Using all the coping mechanisms over here.
Yes. You made it's a really good point, though, and I just want to reiterate that feeling of exhausted when we're talking about quitting before payday, because when we have a lot on our plate, talking to myself right now, we take too many things on and we get to that feeling of exhaustion because we've taken too much on. We will quit, because something does have to give. Right. So you can't just do it all. As much as I'd like to think that I can, you can't just do it all. You can't be like, yes, I'll do that. Yes. Okay. Give me more. Give me more. Yes. You want to start something else? Absolutely. No, you can't. And if you do get that feeling of exhaustion, something will give. And then you may not reach, or unlikely will reach, goals associated with what you have taken on. So having those like that coping mechanisms or those strategies to reduce exhaustion, fill your cup, etc., is very valuable in those times where you do, because there are periods in our life where we have more things on than others, right? Out of our control. It may not be that you're a weirdo like me and you take on too much. It's just that there is a lot of things happening in your life, for example. And that's just the nature of the beast. You know, we have ebbs and flows throughout our life. So if we don't have something to go to calm our mind, reduce the exhaustion or the feeling of exhaustion and overwhelm, it'll take you out of them all. And I think that's breaks the flow too, because when you're working towards goals and things, you do need to work at them. You keep going, go through those tasks that we're talking about, make it tedious, make it day in, day out, fight through the mud. You'll stop and the momentum stops too. Then you'll have to restart again, right? Whereas if you can keep going, the momentum keeps going. And I promise you that it does get there. Like there's a couple of things that I've been working on as well behind the scenes for months, like months and months. And it has felt like a lot. I've been like, this is not fucking working. Like, why? And I've been like tired and stressed and like not sleeping. It's only in the last, I'm going to say 3 weeks that things are happening, right, guys? Like, after months and months of pushing, the light is there. And it's such a good feeling. I promise you. It's so worth it. It's so worth the wait. It's so worth the pushing. It's so worth the don't push beyond your means. Use your coping mechanisms. Disclaimer. but just keep going through. It's like, have you seen, everyone's seen that picture of the two miners in underground and there's the diamonds and then one stops and walks back just before they hit the diamonds and then one keeps going? It's exactly that.
I've never seen that picture, but I understand what you're talking about.
Oh, joking. Oh, I'll send it to you, but also I'll put it on our Instagram as well because it's the best. It's such a good, and sums up what we're saying perfectly. We could have just showed that picture on the podcast.
We just could have done that and been like, oh, we're done. This is the topic today. Here we go. No, like you make such good points. And it really is that you have to evaluate what's going to give and what's important and what your values are and what's in alignment with that. And if you start to feel like something is overwhelming, go back to your why. Like, why are you doing it in the first place? Why are you doing this thing? What is your actual want? If it doesn't align with that anymore, maybe it's time to say goodbye. Like, maybe there's a reason you're feeling that way. However, if you're feeling tired just because of the tedium and so much going on and the exhaustion, but it still aligns with your why and your values, and you can feel that finish line sort of creeping closer, like, keep going. Keep going. Reach out to us too if you need some support there, because we've been there. But I guess my question to you, Sal, is when something's got to go, when something's got to give, like, how do you determine what it is that's gonna be evacuated from the plate of many things?
I'm the wrong person to ask because I rarely let go. I will be honest. I have a very bad habit of pushing myself beyond exhaustion. Beyond. And I just have never mastered the act of, I can say no. It's not that I can't say no, because I absolutely can say no to things that I don't think are important. I guess I think that as well as tasks, I take on like a lot of, other people's struggles or other people's frustrations, right? So they'll come to me for their frustrations, and that's fine. I'm more than happy to listen. But then it's like I make it my mission to make it better or something. Does that make sense? So,
to solve their problems.
Or make it easier for them. So I'll put more on my plate to make it easier for other people. So I'm not very good at eliminating things off my plate. However, I think something that has really helped me in recent times, I'm absolutely not perfect at this, nowhere near. So not even close. But, we spoke about this in an episode a few ago, and I was talking about we're talking about the values. You just brought it up just now. What are your values? What are your top 3 priorities? And when I was setting my goals, I was thinking about that. And then the other day, it happened the other day, actually. The other day, Nick and I were driving home in the car and we were talking about some things. And I said, we need to stop talking about this. It's not that important to both of us. I said, it's not important to our goals. We're putting too much focus on something that doesn't really matter. Let's talk about something productive, or we can just sit in silence and have the time to relax. That's more important than whirling around this topic that was completely irrelevant. I may have just hijacked it and gone a little bit side note, but I think it's a kind of a really important point, because often when there's heaviness in the world, as there is now as well, we talk about things like that all the time, right? And it is really important to be aware of topics and have opinions. I do believe that. I don't think we should ignore things that are happening in the world. I don't think that's helpful, and I don't think that's how change happens. However, somehow in our brains, or in a lot of people's brains, negativity just takes over. It's like this cyclical pattern of something's always wrong, wrong, wrong,
Yeah.
wrong. That's so, so heavy.
Yeah.
You know,
I realized
sometimes you do stop
actually,
yourself.
yeah, I realized actually how much that was weighing on me, just global and political and local affairs and everything. And it just has been exhausting. And I think there is a way, and we're kind of like pivoting here, but it's attached. There's a way to stay informed without exhausting your brain. I personally have had to, intentionally take time away from social media because my brain will just scroll and scroll and scroll. And there's a lot of doom and gloom that populates my feed. And it gets really heavy feeling. So I've intentionally either sought out other content that is actually relaxing or done something like read a book to relax because I'm
Mm.
recognizing what is causing what reaction for me, what different input is creating different output. And scrolling on social media is creating a negative doom and gloom mindset, whereas reading a book is creating an actually relaxing environment for me. So I'm evaluating what I need in the moment and what is going to best serve that. And again, I'm not perfect at it. Gosh, we're working on this every day. But especially when there's a lot on your plate and things get heavy and it's overwhelming and it feels like there's a million things going on, you have to engage all of those coping mechanisms to evaluate what's important and what really is not adding any value. I'm reading the book again, The Gap and the Gain, and there's a
I still
section.
haven't read that,
It's
but I
totally
want
fine.
to.
My whole team is reading it right now. But there's a section about an Olympic rowing team, and they judged everything they did by one single measure. Will it make the boat go faster? If I do this, will it make the boat go faster? If I go to this party, will it make the boat go faster? If I stay up late, will it make the boat go faster? If I go to the gym, will it make the boat go faster? And you're starting to evaluate everything that you do based on these goals and what actually matters to you. And when you start to do that, the end becomes a lot more clear. And I think I'm reading that again at the perfect time for me because as I've felt overwhelmed, I'm starting to go, oh, does this make the boat go faster? It does not. So let's set this thing aside and make a different choice. So
I love that, actually. That's
there
really
we
good.
are. Yeah.
It helps us hone in. There's two things going through my mind right now, so I'll try to get them both out without forgetting because we know that happens a lot. One is that it helps you hone in on what's important right then and there. And if you have a lot on your plate, you can focus and then focus and then focus, task, task, task in succession, not jump around like I do. Also, it is related because when we, I know we're getting sidetracked about the heaviness and negative emotions, but the reason it's related is because when our brain is overcome with negativity, external negativity, it makes it easier for us to give in to feelings of, I'm not good enough, I can't do this, I'm too frustrated to continue, because we don't have the strength in our brain because it's overcome by negativity, right? So our chimp brain's coming and saying, yeah, you're also not good enough to do that thing that you said. Then you're like, oh, yeah, actually, maybe I'm not. No, because you're already in that fear, judgment, those low frequency emotions. You're already functioning there. When you're operating in the high frequency, so from love and gratitude and that peace, and you create that by reading or music or walks and doing your gratitude every day, when you're operating in that space and your chimp's like, don't go on, you can't achieve that. You're like, yes, I can, you little shit. Get out of my brain. Get out. But the negativity makes it harder to do that. So it is related.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Operating high.
It's very related.
Very related. We've got a boat. We've got a chimp.
What else do we need here?
It's all the things, though. I think this just shows that, okay, this whole podcast is an example of not quitting before payday. And I say that in a way that we've both done years of personal development. We have both done years of going through shit, both done years of different speaking events, different trainings, different businesses, all of those things.
Yeah.
Which meant we, I guess, had the confidence to start this podcast with this topic. But then it's also not quitting before payday in the literal sense of when we first decided to do it.
Yeah.
We had to talk about it. We had to get to know each other a bit better. We had to come up with a logo. We had to work through technical glitches. All of that we could have gone, you know what, actually, I'm not sure about this because it's all a bit hard. Rather than going, no, we're doing it and we have impacted people's lives.
Yeah.
You
it's
know?
kind of cool when you get those responses back and you're like, oh, we did the thing. Oh, that's neat.
And that's the payday.
Yeah.
Payday doesn't mean money. Like, it doesn't always mean money. That's what I'm saying, figuratively or literally, because sometimes when we have business goals, and that's coming up for me. It's like a literal payday is coming, like monetary payday from putting in a slog. That can happen too. But podcast-wise, that's a figurative payday because we went through all the glitches, etc., and we've come out, produced it, and are helping people.
And are now recording
those negative little emotions be like, ha, you can't.
You can't do it. Instead, we're like, haha, yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
And now we're recording our 35th episode.
35.
That's big.
I'm excited. That's so good.
Well, this has been awesome, Sal. Way to be. I'm excited for us.
Yes, no, and I think it's a good topic because I feel, people are there's a lot happening right now. As I said, people are busy. People are here in Australia. People are stressed about cost of living and interest rates and da-da-da. And, then they think, oh, I can't do this thing that I've been working towards because I need to focus on this. And it's just a big perpetuating thing. But keep going on your goals. Keep going. And I'm not saying it's easy. It's not even easy for me. I get frustrated all the time about things.
Yeah. Again, I thought about quitting yesterday. That's why we're here. That's why we're talking about this. It's not
easy. It builds
easy.
Resilience. Each time you go through it, it'll build the resilience. It'll make it easier next time.
100%. I completely agree. Well, Sal, until next time, have a beautiful day.
Thank you. You have a beautiful night.
I will. We'll talk soon.
Have a great day, guys. Thanks.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.